Good evening, everybody. It's E.O. Anderson tickling the ivories for you this evening. I'm Ken Marangolo on behalf of First Amendment Sports. Thank God it's Tuesday. He's Tim Strachan.
Hey, guys. Great to see everybody back. Been an awesome weekend. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But I do want to throw a shout-out to AGH, man. When I read your comment on Kevin's post, got a little dusty in my house.
Mm-hmm.
Love you, brother. Love the fact that we come together. It's just a good example of why we do this on these days, man. Love you, AGH. Love everybody on the board. Thanks for joining.
Kevin Ricka.
And it's an extra special Big Tuesday because I just want everyone to know on the board that just listened to what T had to say, and you two right here, $1.56 billion richer. I'm not changing. I'll be back next Tuesday, and I promise everyone gets to eat. Everyone gets to eat.
Everyone eats. I love it. All right. I forgot to buy a ticket. So
I'm in a 40 way it tonight, so.
Okay, good.
Don't come at me for everything all at once. It factors out to be about 19.7, but no, who's counting?
Can you imagine that's what you should do? It's like everybody gets like $1.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Greg Martin,
Don't tell
EO,
anybody.
AGH, Ken Harris. Good evening, y'all. The official Commanders podcast of Hogs Haven and First Amendment Sports. Please give us a subscribe. It's free. And if you hear or see anything you like tonight, give us a thumbs up. Well, we'll try for it. 32 days out until week 1. Just a little bit more time until that 5th preseason game against the Arizona Cardinals, which we'd be morons to repeat to keep saying. I keep wanting to tell myself, stop saying that, and yet I can't. I watched practice. I watched their practice the other day, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, I wonder when Kevin's team plays them this year.
You know about the one where
BS
they
dogs.
kept pointing and they threw it just a terrible pass.
That was one of them. And then just hit somebody in the head. I mean, it was like an 80s comedy. It was like it was
like
from an
watching
80s
The
comedy.
Replacements.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Anyways, that's 1 week of action, and we're gonna have to get ready.
Wait, what
for,
did I miss?
We should start counting down to week 2. I mean, or actually, you know what? We can't do that either. We can't look past the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, for goodness sake, we just got to get into the meat of this season. But let's get into the meat of the training camp situation, guys. There's two big things we're talking about. We're going to talk about the intensity gate, and we're going to talk about the 2 deep. But let's start with the 2 deep. That's kind of somewhat fresh.
Yeah, let's keep EB's meat in the freezer a little while.
Just for just a teeny tiny bit longer. All right, so no surprises. Quarterback, we already know it. Jake Fromm, obviously, will be our starter this season. At running back, B-Rob and Antonio Gibson. Now, does Alex Armah make the team?
I don't know, because has he ever been in the game? He's been a part of this roster for 5 years. I don't know. Is he the secret I formation weapon?
We're going to make it to the Super Bowl, and it's going to be 4th down and inches.
It's going to be him. Armah
End of
time.
the game, and they're going to go.
Get in there.
Armah.
Nobody will see it coming.
This is what you've been here for.
Yeah.
You do save a guy like that for a moment like that, when nobody in the
Family.
world thinks the ball's going to you.
When the shape of his body jogs out in the field, he's either doing one of two things:
Yes.
plowing directly forward with the ball or without it.
He's playing now. All right, so the U position. I know that have we ever had a U position on our team? And when's the last time we had a U position guy?
I think that's a personal question.
I have no idea. It's true. You have to identify as it, but I mean, it's new to me in terms of they're like, oh, he's practicing at the U position. I was like, I advocated for creating a new position not 3 weeks ago on this very show for running backs, but they created a whole different position and said it, and they're calling it the U position.
Just skipped right over the V.
They skipped right over it.
No V.
Utility?
The flying V.
I guess. I don't know. I'm hard pressed to see. It'd be
Unnamed position?
Unnamed. If it'll be interesting if we keep a guy like him. That's probably gonna be a really good thing, because it means we have a luxury. We have the ability to keep a guy like Alex Armah.
No way we're keeping Alex Armah. Alex Armah, and I just can't see how he fits in.
How many years
new
can you spend on the
offense.
practice squad?
I have no idea.
Because it seems like the greatest job ever.
If you're on it, you should stay there as long as possible.
Of course you
It's
should.
a great gig.
The greatest job
It is
ever.
a great gig.
You know he's not involved in a single fight in practice ever. He just does what, and then they create a position for you. If you stay on the practice squad long enough, they could name a position for you.
Here's why: there's like 6 teams in the NFL that use a fullback, and in case we play one of them, we have to have him on scout team running fullback because. Well, I mean, that's a terrible reason to keep a guy. Apparently, he is a pretty good football player, but I don't see him making this roster. This year's roster, I think there's 40 solid dudes, and then there's a battle between 50 for the next 13.
So, how about this? I feel like we know our defense pretty well. In fact, it's like locked solid in. Let's just get right to the heart of the matter. We know our wide receivers for the most part. We can talk about the last wide receiver, and we will.
I don't think there's 4 wide receivers.
We only have 4, but it's going to be a race to see who they keep.
We've kept 6 pretty religiously.
I feel like there's no way we don't keep 5. And if we just want to talk about it now,
6.
Marcus Kemp and Byron Pringle are they fighting for one spot?
I don't know because Dax Milne has got to be in that mix. You know, some of us have leaned towards the Casimir Allen.
Why does he got to be?
Who?
Dax Milne.
No, I said it doesn't have to be. I'm talking about the next guy. I said there's 4. I said our 3 starters and De'Ami Brown are locked.
Locked.
Then, shit. I haven't been out there. I've been, following it. I couldn't possibly. We're just having that conversation.
Yeah.
None of us, I don't have an opinion of who's out playing who right now. I think we know who's battling for those 2 spots, though. And I think those 3 guys we just mentioned, 4 guys right there, are the next 4 up. Can
we give a couple extra bucks to one of those Kansas City guys? Either Kemp or Pringle.
I think it was Pringle.
I mean, it wasn't just
Pringle was the more recent signing.
We didn't just sign him we didn't just give him, a paycheck to teach
Pringle
our guys.
had better production than Kemp, I believe, in KC, but neither of these guys are signed to be anything but a 5 or 6 guy.
Wasn't just potato chips, was it?
I mean, once you pop, you can't stop, sir.
He is stacked.
Kyrick McGowan is a guy that's been on our practice squad and hanging around for the last 2 years. So, and then the dude Mitchell Tinsley, we gave a couple of bucks to from Penn State as an undrafted. Nothing crazy.
Yep.
But we gave him a little cheese.
One of those guys is gonna end up on our practice squad, and but like the problem, or I don't want to say problem area. How about this? The area of our team where it's still totally unsettled for a variety of reasons at certain spots. That's our offensive line. It's we can throw out names we're pretty sure are going to be there, but man,
I think there's 10. I think it's set.
It's got to be 10. But I'm saying like who's about by the time we get to the end of camp, there'll be someone available who's better than one of our guys. You know what I mean? Like
I think so. But the weird thing is this year, we wait until the final day. We can keep 90 up until it. So it's not like in the years past. Sometimes teams would do their veterans a favor by cutting them early and allowing them to find a new home with more time. That's no longer the case, specifically per the rules. So, right down to the last day, I think it's the 29th. In fact, 3 weeks from today, we got to be down to 53. The whole NFL does. You don't have to make a cut before that this year, which is very interesting. So 4:00, 3 weeks from today, our team will be set. We will have a show being locked and loaded.
Yep.
We'll have our pregame meeting starting at 4:01, and we'll head into it. 3 weeks, ready for another season. But I like the fact that you're thinking that way because I am too. I do like the fact that Sadiq Charles is listed as the starter because he's got a ton of ability as an athlete, and he is a young guy.
I don't want him on. I want him on my team. I want him on the team, and we need him because you're going to use him. You're going to always use that guy.
He's been starting. He's been practicing with the ones.
He's got a calf thing though going on.
And Chris Paul's right there.
Yeah, Chris Paul's right there. Braden Daniels, it looks like.
But I want to guard. Don't get me wrong. But I looked a lot. I don't know who that could possibly be. And by the way, you start looking at some of these numbers, the Brandon Sheriffs of the world and the dude from Quinn, your boy from the Colts, and some of these guys are off the charts good and paid. Then the mediocre guys, it gets really, really weird. When Andrew Norwell is being listed as one of the medium guys, it's honestly,
available
with all the guys we're looking at in that pay cycle, he's in that place.
Oh, sure.
So, shit. You know what I mean? I don't know.
But then it could really be, you could go the other way with it. You could still say we have our starting 5, that we know who they are. We know who those guys are going to be. But there still might be a guy that's not Andrew Norwell who's available that you're like, you know what? He's a better backup than the backup that we have because maybe Eric Bieniemy knows something that on a guy. So
if you look at these guys, though, Leno, Lucas, and Daniels, they're on, right?
Yep.
We got to have those guys.
Braden Daniels.
Yep.
Yeah, but Braden Daniels he's struggled. I mean, we're not counting him to start, but he could get there.
In fact, the reason why we did what we did with him is because he was going to be a project. We knew this when we drafted him. We weren't expecting him to step in and play meaningful downs on this offensive line this year by any stretch. That's why we kept him at tackle and said, we're not playing you at guard. You're going to learn and struggle there. And in a year to a year and a half, we're going to have a guy. And I kind of like that. Mm-hmm. Get Leno for a couple more years, and we'll figure out. We got Wiley for 4. So not a bad place to be as long as Big Cornelius can stay healthy. And he's been kind of a treat to have, man. Yep. It's been a treat to have a swing tackle like that guy. And I think he's still got some snaps left in him.
The overall negativity in terms of coverage, though, thus far has been this unit. The inconsistency, how difficult they're making it on Sam Howell to progress, and that rub that coaches need where, you just got to – you can't really adjust it. You got to just go with it.
You can't help it.
It's a rep. It scares me, man. It does not sound great. If there's anything really to be worried about, it's got to be this unit.
Well – so today there's reports coming in that it's coming together and blah, blah, blah. So here's the deal. And you know this, T. The defense is always ahead of the offense. And this particular franchise, it's way ahead of the offense, especially with the new thing coming in. And I get it. We're not game planning up for it.
And our defensive front.
We're taking our lumps.
Pretty tough for these guys to be.
Damn right. So. And we're taking our lumps, and that's how it should be. And I like our fight. And I like that Rivera said that. It's brutal. You're out there getting your ass kicked. You ain't ready for this. Sorry, but you're not. It's just how football is. You start off in training camp. That defense, especially this defense, is going to whip your ass. But you got to fight back. You got to figure it out. So I think that's what we're looking at to see which guys are fighting back, who's figuring it out. And by the way, they better do it fast because offensive line ain't the position to be making choices this late in the game. So
yep. Just going to refresh this. I want to see what I haven't had a check-in yet on the Crowncraft, Peter Millar. We're getting Peter Millar money. That's good money to get. That's some serious sponsorship. Well, none of us are wearing Peter Millar, by the way. Petey?
What
Petey?
Is
that Petey?
Is it cologne?
Clothes. Clothing.
I had no clue.
You know what?
Sorry, I'm never part of the production. I'm not part of the advertising.
They don't mean
group.
it, Peter. They obviously know that. Big Pete. Petey. All right, so we'll kind of get in and out of what's been good and what's been bad in terms of player performance. But obviously, I didn't know it was going to be as big of. People were complaining about it being a story, and then I look around and it's being like picked up everywhere about Eric Bieniemy being too intense, some players going to Ron Rivera, and depending on what publication you're looking at or which outlet you're watching, it's being portrayed in a different way. I mean, I saw it initially, I was like. It was kind of a much ado about nothing. At least I think that's true. Ron Rivera answered a question about it, and everyone thought that it's a thing. So, intensity gate. Eric Bieniemy being too intense, and then you have to deal with like all your friends who aren't Redskins fans, and they text you and be like, "Well, I don't remember any Kansas City Chiefs complaining." I'm like, actually, yeah, little Sean McCoy was well known and outspoken for talking about Eric Bieniemy.
Hated him.
Yes, and there were others, and so, but it's like he's a known quantity. Everyone knows exactly who he is. He's been in the league a long time, and he's been pretty freaking successful. My whole point initially was here's a guy who's been in Super Bowls, coached amazing offenses. He kind of gets to be him on the way in the door, and if things don't work, then maybe you can say some stuff, but I'm kind of thinking, unless it's Terry McLaurin saying something, which I really don't think it is. I don't.
He already didn't. He already said to him in the they have a videotape of the meeting when he went to the presser when he got signed. He looked at him dead in the face, said a bunch of other awesome stuff, but he said, "I want to be coached hard. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to let up. I want to be coached hard because I want to win a championship." So it ain't Terry. It certainly ain't.
No,
Terry.
I think we're gonna. I mean, I think this. I think it's people who aren't going to be on on the final.
But also,
there are some at that level. There are some, and I know people. I've never been at that level, but I know people who have, who said you just get some guys like LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah,
who, But then on the other end, you have your Eric Bieniemy, who's like, if I don't do this, I lose my job.
He said, my ass gets
F
fired.
you.
Yeah.
He said, if we don't win, my ass
for
gets
not wanting
fired.
to do
Yes,
everything. So
exactly.
I love it.
It's a personality thing. It works its way. These things work their way out. I would hate to be known as the player that went and complained about this.
Yeah, I want to know who it is
What
so
the
bad.
hell are you doing?
It's
just ridiculous.
I read today that
Unless it's abuse, which I don't
Which
think it
it's
is.
not.
Man.
Everyone in the world is watching. The press is there. The stands are full. And there's a whole organization full of football people checking it out. I mean, that's the answer to because of course you're right if that's what it was. But this ain't 19. This isn't Bear Bryant taking a bunch of people out to a Friday the 13th camp and running them until they can't literally move.
But if Back to the Future was remade this day and age, it would go back to 1993. Can you imagine in 93 if they're reading about 2023 football coach too intense?
Oh my God.
Football coach too intense.
About. So, but I will say this though, and in this league, there are some. You got to understand, a lot of these guys make a lot more money than EB. I mean, it's just true, and over their careers, and that. So there
Like Dorn from Major League.
There's always going to be that the veteran guys that have all the. But thank God our veteran guys are taken care of. But I did see on Twitter, Tyreek Hill and Jamal Charles both chipped in.
Yes,
Both of them
Tyreek
said
Hill,
this.
big time.
They both said this. Tyreek Hill said, yes, he's very tough on you as a coach. First and foremost. Jamal Charles said, I know he coaches different. So they're both admitting, yeah, this dude is a ball busted. And then they both say, guarantee you makes you better or guarantee you takes you to another level and no one will have your back quite like him. Coach or be coach or get the hell out because
That's right.
this franchise has, and I think that this was definitely blown out of proportion. That's fine, but you got Cam Curl out there saying, "Ain't no one soft in here, homie." Like this. It's take it easy, everybody.
The other thing is at that level too, and at any level, that approach works when you win. It may wear on guys
True.
when you don't win.
And here's why it works when you win.
Sometimes that's the intensity and that's the approach you got to take to get to the level that the Kansas City Chiefs are at right now.
And here's what I love about it, the fact that it was those two. Jamal Charles and Tyreek Hill dominated touches in that offense. They were superstars. They were Pro Bowlers. They were high-paid guys. They were studs everywhere. They were stars in Kansas City. He treated them that way.
Yeah.
He didn't say that shit for the rookies. Those are the superstars saying, oh, yeah, he's going to get up in your ass and take your ball game to a new level. Well, what the shit do we need around here better than that?
I'm constantly amazed about Tyreek Hill. I mean, obviously Jamal Charles was great, but Tyreek Hill, I mean, before it's all over, Tyreek Hill could easily be a notch above Antonio Brown in terms of what he. I mean, and he's got to get there. I mean, but he's doing it. I mean, he's on that path to being. I mean, and Antonio Brown was like literally. I mean, he was electric every time the ball got near him. I think. I mean, I don't know why I thought. When Miami paid what they paid to get him, both in trade and contract, I couldn't believe it. But man, were they smart! And I mean, he's saying he's going to get 2,000 yards this year. Anyone else says that, and I think like, all right, like take it easy, just another bravado, machismo scenario. But I think he is capable of getting 2,000 yards receiving, if Tua can stay, non-concussed. So I don't know. Again, Eric Bieniemy gets to come in and be him. It's in our best interest for him to succeed for every possible reason. We've been saying that for months.
It's in our best interest.
It's in our best interest. If he does well, it's in our best interest. So we should just let him do it well.
And
for
that's
him.
why you guys tune in for the hard hitters right there. We deliver, don't we?
For us or someone else.
Look, and let's be honest. These papers, these websites, they gotta sell. They gotta get clicks, and they're gonna prey on the biggest question mark of this team right now, and they're gonna do everything they can to bring people in and talk and go look and read.
Well, we're
fattening frogs for snakes is all this was.
Yes,
this was
exactly.
fattening frogs for snakes.
We're no strangers to the preseason drama and any kind of, but this is the kind of drama
I'll
you kind
take
of
it.
want.
Oh yeah,
This is the one you
I'll
want.
take this over anything we've
God.
had to deal with for the
Against-
last 24 years. Are you
Against people
serious?
dressing up in sumo suits and trying to run Mike Shanahan's conditioning drill because Albert Hainsworth can't do it. I mean, yeah, we did that for an entire summer.
God.
Owner
Like, are you-
sodomizes oak tree on Potomac River.
Yeah, exactly.
What? Why'd he do that?
So a little cussing at players being like the story, but it was weird. Like all like the national sites. I mean, it was crazy the listing of sites that were covering it on their front page. But yeah, who cares? Let's talk about, I guess, the injuries we could touch on, because thank God, knock on wood,
seriously.
haven't been hit hard by the injury bug. The only one that is even remotely concerning at this point in time, to me, I think we're going to all agree, if we all say it at the same time and say his name on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Emmanuel Forbes. I would say Forbes over Thomas, but
Well, I think Forbes is going to be okay.
he's going to be fine. I just don't like.
I don't think it's something that's going to keep
He's
him
fine.
out.
He's fine.
I know. I always get weirded at like groin area stuff.
I think it's Logan Thomas, and it's only concerning because it's for Logan Thomas, not necessarily us. I
think Logan Thomas is fine.
Yeah, we need Logan.
Yeah,
all right, we'll see.
I think he's. I
We just don't have a lot of tight ends. Shit, that
We
ain't
don't.
good.
We don't. Which again brings us back to Alex Arma, but not really at all.
What are you saying? He's firm buttocked because he certainly ain't tall enough. Our tight ends are all like 6'7".
I
You
know.
ever seen our tight end group?
I know.
They're like all power
I think
forwards.
they got Arma in tight end.
Well, he's playing. He's
Drills.
inline blocking right now. I mean, that's one of the things he's doing is inline blocking because Thomas isn't there. Turner, who fancies himself, I don't know what he doesn't fancy himself as a blocker. Bates obviously is a hitter. I
don't know if people are still fancying
I don't care
themselves, but
what he fancies himself to be.
I haven't fancied anything about myself.
He's got to do whatever Eric Bieniemy tells him to do.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't,
well, but the
then
thing
he's
is,
out of a job.
Turner and Thomas, assuming they're both healthy and on the field, if you like the way that the Kansas City offense over like the last 4 years has deployed tight ends, those specifically tight ends, they're one of the like top 5, top 6 in the league in terms of percentage of plays where they put 2 tight ends out there. And one guy is going to play out wide, one guy's going to be in the slot, they're going to be in the backfield, they're going to be all over the place. But inline blocking is still a thing the tight ends have to do, and so Turner has to. That's an area he's got to improve in the next 32 days.
I feel like Arma's that guy when you're coaching. You're like, all right, running backs over here, tight ends over there, O-line over there. Arma, just go somewhere, man.
Just go somewhere. Just block. Go somewhere and block.
Just rotate. I don't know.
Arma, do what you do.
Go down there and hold for old what's his name? Wadman. We got Wadman wearing number 0. We have a dude we plucked out of the front row of the Budweiser seats.
Wadman.
Have you seen our new guy?
Yeah.
Our new punter. He's wearing number 0 and his name is Wadman. And he's getting it snapped to him from Cheeseman. What the hell's going on?
Who's having a hard time snapping all of a sudden? By the way.
Well, he's looking back there and he's like, I cannot believe they signed Wadman. It's like a rival of Cheeseman, I think, perhaps. Maybe.
You got to be a marketing, like, there's going to be like some,
I hope so.
Instagram reel that comes out.
OnlyFans?
Yeah, something like
OnlyFans.
That's going to be an OnlyFans.
Only you would get OnlyFans to see that.
Well, is he the kicker or the punter? He's the kicker. Wadman's the kicker.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
I thought
Cheeseman's got
it
the
was
yips.
Badgley and Sly.
Yes, that's the kicker.
Those are the kickers.
Wadman is now a punter.
Is punting, but
Tressway has some
has
back.
like a
Tress has back
back
tightness.
thing.
Yeah. That's a guy we need. But
No, he's fine.
He'll be fine.
Listen, let Wadman take care of Friday night. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Where'd he come from?
What a horrible question, T.
color?
Now you've drawn the line.
This is a whole different show.
You have crossed the line. sir.
Rad, have you given T the talk yet? We're going to need you to give T the talk after the
Is he
show's
in
over.
Australia? What's going on?
He needs to talk.
You
What is
just asked-
Wadman?
Cheese wad. Oh, there you go, EO. We got a cheese wad scenario. I like it. Fantastic.
It always goes to one place. This is like a 4th grade podcast. It's my favorite sometimes. But Wadman is a real thing, and he's wearing number 0. And I hope he shoots a few through the goalpost this Friday night. Just saying.
Oh, Muffwad. Getting after it on Friday night once again. So what's the plan for Friday night? Specifically,
I'm going to be bathing nude in 20s, I believe.
I like it.
Yeah.
20s.
I don't know.
Canadian?
I'm just.
Canadian dollars?
I'm simple.
I mean,
Pesos?
I don't want to soil all the money the
20
first night.
peso bills?
Well, I'm talking about after I win the big.
That's true. Oh, that's
After
true.
the
That's
big
right.
lottery.
I'll be at
tonight.
my house watching if you would like to come over. Or I'm enticed with a much better proposal.
An
I'm going to get you guys Cheeseman and Wadman
an
jerseys for
indecent
this.
proposal?
It's going to be amazing. Cheeseman and Wadman watching preseason.
Does Hal play a snap?
I think he plays
think
a
so.
series.
Yeah, at least a series.
I think a first series at
you
a
got to
minimum.
get him out there and get him
I think a quarter at a maximum, but a first series would be a minimum. And
It's
I think
hard.
I'm going to say 1 to 2 series would be what I think
wouldn't even hate
happens.
2. No, I wouldn't hate 2.
I wouldn't either.
If I were Sam Howell, I'd like to get out there and do something.
Here's what I like about 2 series. Now, listen, forget about the NFL or anything, but you get out there, that first series, that first thing, everyone is juiced, right? Everyone's you're not thinking straight. You come off the field, you settle down after going 3 and out or whatever, and that's it. Hey, you're out. Like, that's torture. Let me get a chance to get the stuff out, get back in there and just see the game for what it is. Catch up to some real game speed out here in Cleveland for a brief series and then be on my way.
Now, when you're Aaron Rodgers, you don't have to go out there. You know?
No, you don't.
No.
You don't. You sit over there with a lot of men and just
You do
check
get
out
to
the
It's not Sam Howell right
stands.
now.
Yeah.
You do
Sam
get to
Howell
the
needs to
point.
get out there and he needs to look at the crowd and know what it feels like again and just.
In the modern day NFL, you don't play your number 1 guy in this game ever. So I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, but we have a guy we're paying
you have that
minimum
luxury.
wage who only has played 1 game in the league so far.
Yep.
We're calling him our starter, and yet he's gonna have to get out there and play.
But this is not based on quarterback shit. This is based on who else they're playing. You don't want to put him out there behind the freaking third-team offensive line.
That's right.
That's all. No, this isn't. Of course, everyone wants more reps for him. Of course. It's just the old, reps or injury or who's out there. Fine. This is going to be a unit thing, not just a Sam Howell thing.
Let's get 2 or 3 passes on tape so we know what we're looking at from a cohesion standpoint.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
100%. Got to let him get up, get dressed, smell the grass, get around, check out the stuff, and be on with it.
And can we stop? Can we
We're
stop
smelling
with the
stuff.
Jacoby Brissett? Is it like nipping at the heels? I mean, the guy.
I've not heard anyone serious say
18
that.
and 30
It's a puff
as-
piece.
18 and 30
He's doing
and 40
fine.
starts, 48 starts. He's not a guy that we need to be like. No, that's not what you do.
He's great where he is right now.
He's the best insurance policy a team like ours could ask for.
It's a Sam Howell's team until it isn't, and that's not going to happen before game 1.
Yeah, I didn't even think that other thing. I've seen a couple people.
I just can't stand I can't stand seeing it. Keep it over there.
Oh, Jesus God in heaven.
Keep it over there. Keep it over there.
Sir.
Keep it over there.
Sir.
Is that a red bomb?
Is that Rhett?
Oh.
Yeah, that was Rhett. The old slow burn.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
He's
I've been
far
attacked.
away.
I'm offended.
He's far away.
Oh, my
Wow.
God.
It
I'm
hasn't gotten to
offended.
me yet, so I'm.
We have not
over here.
had our ventilation properly. You're like you're in the zone. I have some ventilation going on right here apparently because and I'm protecting T. But the scenario, the situation in here down here is dire.
Call a doctor and his wife.
If you're
right
tuning
now.
in-
call his wife, tell her to come get him, and then have a doctor ready
You're
at
just
the house.
tuning in. We have a serious situation going on here in the
God.
studios.
I've
Don't
never.
smell it. Thank God.
Oh my God!
And I'm
I
gonna
think
stay
it's-
over
I think
this
it's
way.
in my T-shirt. It's on my person.
Something
If that happens again, I swear to God, I'm out of here.
crawled up inside Rhett, died, came back to life, ate some day-old Indian food out of a dumpster, and then went back into his, and then farted.
I did read a very wise saying today, though.
Perfect timing.
It is. It is.
Through.
Oh, we just had the meal. Let's get the fortune cookie.
If you don't find farts funny, then shame on you because then you just live a miserable life, and farts are going to happen anyway. So you should enjoy them.
I enjoy farts as much as anyone you've ever met in your life. That last fart, it was not enjoyable at any level. It didn't have a noise, so it was not funny in that department. It was unannounced. I almost threw up.
It hit you.
Don't do it. Please don't do it again. I'm begging you. This is one of those like you have to go outside.
Oh, that's true. You can cross in front of the camera. That way, everyone in internet land can know exactly what's going on. I love.
Holy hell!
NES
man.
Tecmo in the house. You know what? Ken Harris was. If our smoke alarm goes off, then you know something.
Could have been that bad. Didn't get over here.
I'm telling
I
you
think
right
he
now,
directed it at-
that's one of the
I
top
think he
3
directed
farts
it
I've ever
at
smelled in
you.
my entire life.
Ever
in my life.
Rhett's getting some serious love from the board
That was
for.
I think one of the other 2 of the 3 was Rhett's from like a month ago.
No, that was more annoying. This was one. This was going to rob my
This was an
family.
assault. No. This was reaching forward and backward. Like generations of the Ricca family were being affected It was like a time travel scenario, like a hot fart machine.
I've never been offended by a fart as much as I was just
hot tub
offended.
fart machine.
Yeah. I got a feeling it's going to happen again. I'm going to have to go home.
You will. I know. I hope it doesn't come to that. I honestly don't.
I can't.
I seem to remember a bubbler or two, by the way, in your past.
There's been a couple bubblers.
There's been a couple bubblers.
I'm not above any of this, but I can't take another one.
It's true. There's it's like double jeopardy. You know, you can't be tried for the same crime twice. You shouldn't have to sit through with the same fart twice in one wadcast. Here you go. Look, you're getting the board is looking out for you. They're worried for you.
He is.
Your hair is
I'm
still
not even
fantastic.
sure where we are. I think
feel
we were talking
like,
about Brissett.
We're in a different spot.
I like how, by the way, when you put the tagline up, the helmet is right on the end of it. It almost looks like you didn't see that. Bang! Look at
It
that.
almost looks like we did something on purpose.
That almost made me forget about the heathen fart that Rhett just poured down my freaking nostril passage. Oh.
It was. Yeah. No.
All right, I'm back. It's time to snap out of it. Next play. Next play. The next play for Red
Benjamin
is to go
St.
see the
Just
doctor.
having an awesome camp. Benjamin St. Just, fabulous. He's unbelievably looking good in August, and for whatever that's worth. But man, listen, this is a guy we picked to be in our secondary, and he is. How many times have we done that? How many times have we failed at doing that? And this guy he's tall, he's long, he's heavy, he hits.
Well, length and badassery.
And so the fact that he's progressing, that's all you can ask for is progression. We won't know until we
That's
see
all
it.
he's
in
ever
week one.
done.
I don't disagree with you at all.
At one point last year, I thought he was playing the best of any of the cornerbacks on our team.
He's starting to figure it out a little bit as well. And how about he was put it as a backup in all these little fake two deep charts in the offseason.
Yeah.
He's looking around like, hold on a second.
Yeah, that's right.
And his length and his ability to knock the shit out of you is my favorite.
I mean, he will keep. I mean, so he's not going to keep Forbes or Fuller off the field, but he will keep Quan Martin off the field for a play or two.
He's going to keep himself on the field.
Exactly. He's going to. I mean, in the modern era of this game, I mean, three corners that's your starting cornerback rotation. I mean, there's three cornerbacks on the field. I mean, and they're the best athletes pound for pound for the most part in the league. And speaking of Kansas City, I know we talked about this in the past. They've drafted, I want to say they've drafted like 7 defensive backs over the last 2 or 3 years. They just keep bringing them in until you find something that works. I mean, that is the way that you have to do it. It's like quarterback, left tackle, and corner. Those 3 positions, more than anyone else, you have got to get it right in the draft because you cannot afford to always be needing to spend market rate on quarterback, left tackle, and corners. And we have 2 guys, assuming Kendall Fuller is riding off into the sunset at some point here. 2 guys, St. Just and Emmanuel Forbes, that we will have drafted, and honestly, and Quan Martin for that matter. And you just keep hitting, you keep going and going and going, and you keep adding to that. That's the value that St. Just and Forbes could give us this year on the field, starting and playing well at their salaries. That's how the whole thing works. That's how everything works. So I mean, it's just so great to hear that he's doing well, and it's so not great to hear that Jamin Davis isn't having like a spectacular camp. Now that's what I wanted to hear. So I have to pare things back. I don't know shit about how where he's at, and he's got off the field stuff going on. He's got on the field evolution still to come. But we haven't seen the headline that says Jamin Davis is having an all-pro training camp. And
this isn't a good time to be having off-the-field issues.
I know.
If you're Jamin Davis.
That's correct.
But the good news is it's also not a time to be winning in-season awards.
Understood.
Because, having a bad camp and getting over yourself and improving, he knows what he's supposed to be doing. He's struggling a little bit.
So.
He's going to be all right. Sorry, it was fun to talk about it now, though. If he's struggling, you got to talk about it. It's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. But I know this. Another draftee, and Ron Rivera, I think we're going to have 30 guys on the roster drafted by Ron. 30 of the final 53. Give or take 1 or 2. I'm just saying. And 36 drafted by us. That's nuts. So,
wait, what is there's your Greg Martin quote for the night. Sign Anthony Barr. First of all, how much money is that going to cost Greg Martin? Because that becomes a thing. Linebacker and guard are the two positions we've previously identified as, we might we put that money in Ron Rivera's pocket and send him shopping, in late August, early September. But is Anthony Barr the answer? I don't. I mean, at this point in time, who knows?
I don't. I haven't entertained this conversation, but it's not that I couldn't. I don't know enough about it, but like you said, I think we got some stuff we need to shore up real quick. So.
AGH, great news. He's talking about BSJ. Where does he start on the outside? I think
he can play wherever the hell he wants.
I think the cool thing about the secondary and the point that they made about guys like Danny Johnson mixing in, and Quan Martin for that matter mixing in, is that they all play everywhere, and you can do anything.
And guys get hurt.
And guys get hurt.
So
but if they're healthy, the cool thing about what Jack Del Rio wants, what every defensive coordinator wants to do, is he wants to be able to put guys out there, and you want the other quarterback to say, well, I know he's playing the outside, I know he's blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden, you got you're able to disguise stuff because guys can do 2 or 3 or 4 jobs.
You can also base it upon the offense's personnel. So whatever personnel they bring on, maybe it's better for St. Juice to go in when a third wide receiver goes in, or maybe it's Butler goes in when it's more of like a tight end or a, you know what I mean? I mean, you can match it up that way.
And this sport polices itself. It's the greatest sport in the world, in my opinion, because of that reason. If you're the best player, you play. There's no way around it. If you're the baddest ass player, because if you're one of 11 out there, that unit is very cohesive, and the other 10 are going to know. They're going to eat you alive if there's a guy out there that's not supposed to be out there. If they're throwing a rookie out there just to get him some reps and blah, blah, and it's messing up everything defensively, those guys will chew him up and spit him out. The best players play. So a guy like Benjamin St. Juste, high tide raises all ships. Keep it going, man. Set that bar. Raise that level, because we certainly need it. People talk about EB. We need it defensively as well. Even though we finished top 5 last year, we need to dominate teams this year because we know that that's the only way to win. So we got to pick up the slack for this offense, especially when it starts.
And if our defense plays the way that they've played, that they finished out last season, what their stats said they could do all throughout the last season, what they've done over the last 3 seasons, then if our defense plays like that, then we will be fairly confident that teams are going to be trying to pass on us for 2 or 3 quarters every single game, because they're going to, they're going to need points. And as soon as you have if your defense is that good, at some point in the game, you turn an offense somewhat one-dimensional. I mean, obviously our offense has to be a factor there, but if our defense can knock you down for 2 quarters and then go to halftime, all of a sudden the other team, they're gonna you make people press, and when people press against our defense, that's a terrible recipe for opposing offenses.
Yep. No, I agree.
So all right, so what else we got? We got I don't want wide receiver. I feel like we're pretty much at wide receiver and running back. There's not a whole lot to discuss.
We discussed it. That's what it is. It's neat that our
safety for
our
that
40 man. We have a 40 man, I think, right
it's
around
like a
that
baseball
number.
roster.
I know, right around that. That's our foundation, and it's good to have that. And I certainly adore that we do have that, especially so many of our own homegrown guys that have grown up together in this locker room, in this area, which we will give Ron Rivera credit for, rejuvenating the culture even while the what's his name was still here. So these guys have grown up around some serious stuff. They've grown up together through some stuff, and then they're going through a camp right now for the first time ever with that like black cloud lifted. Let's just see what happens here. It's a different feel. Different feel.
Let me see if this will still come up. There we go. Not the 2022 schedule, but the 2023 schedule. That mistake was made on this very show. All right. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Preseason lasts until September 10th. So we got the Browns, Ravens, and Bengals. A nice little slate of the, AFC Central? I never understand how the AFC does there. It's not the AFC East.
North.
It's the AFC North?
North, South, East, and West.
North, South.
I mean,
South.
They just went with the compass. I thought it was, it's...
Well, you have the East. I mean, I don't know. I get Baltimore gets me every time.
I mean, Baltimore being East, I didn't think was going to be the problem.
It's always the problem.
It's when Arizona... You're good. Save yourself a little. Save yourself.
All right, so we kick things off. I mean, I absolutely. I'm just going to stop talking about it tonight. I'm going to bring it up every time we do a show, but I'm not going to talk about week 1. Week 2, Denver on the road right away, which I like. Here's why I like going away on Denver right away, because the feel of that first game is not going to tell us anything unless we lose. It's not going to be a different scenario. I mean, you just play the Arizona Cardinals.
Not a measuring stick.
It's not a measuring stick in any way, shape, or form. And I hope that people don't make it into one. And you get on the road right away and you head out west. And you get Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. And they're not going to look at all like they did last year. To me, that's the game. 4:25 our time. That's when that is when the season, the first time we get to show people whether or not we actually are a different situation.
I think the first major test is the next week.
Understood.
Should be.
But that's at home.
If you have expectations of being a playoff contending.
No, I'm
team.
talking about the first team we play.
Yeah, on the road in Denver is we're are we the underdog already? Or are we the
We
favorite?
have to be.
Yeah.
We have to be the underdog.
I think we are.
At Denver?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We're only favored in 2 games, dude. It's preseason.
That can change after week 1.
I think are we
But
favoring
us
the
going
team?
on the road, we can't be chalking up wins on the road with this squad. We haven't done shit.
We're favored in this TBD game.
What's the TBD?
I don't know.
Oh.
TBD.
I'm telling you this though. I'm
it's
going
gotta be
birthday
Atlanta.
suit on the 17th. T-Bird,
Okay.
Ken.
You're
I think we should do it right here.
Who are you tough Broncoing? Okay, fair enough.
I mean,
That's his birthday.
Can we host it? Can we put that? Are we gonna get you pulled away?
We'll talk about it.
Okay,
We'll talk
okay.
about it. But I'm watching that game, and I'd like to watch it with the both of you.
Okay.
So.
All right. That to me, that is the number one first time we show who we are. We better freaking show the Arizona Cardinals we're better than them. But no one should ever think anything about anyone for beating Arizona this year. And just remember, you heard that here a lot. Denver on the road. So that first 3 games September situation. It does culminate at home against the Buffalo Bills. And listen, there's no one in the world picking us in that game.
Fuck Buffalo.
I couldn't agree more. And there's nothing. The Buffalo Bills are at that point now where they're not on the rise. They're not coming up. They're not biting anyone's ankles. They're not sneaking up on anybody.
No.
They're coming in and you know exactly who they are. All the pressure's on them. If you play the Washington Commanders in 2023, all the pressure's on you because nobody thinks we have any chance at all.
I love it.
I agree. And also, this NFL is not a league right now of massacres and people winning by 5 and 6 touchdowns, and we all know that. So come on down here. We got a D-line for you, Josh Allen. He's a hell of a player and as good as a guy we're going to face. Don't get me wrong. But we got to start thinking this way. We got 4 of our best players and 4 of the best dudes on the defensive line. That's what they got to start thinking. And I don't think they are. I don't think Buffalo fans are circling week 3 going, ooh, that defensive line's nasty. They're going, fuck Washington.
Yeah, they are. They are.
So I just try to get out ahead of them. That's all. I just want that to be noted.
One last look for the week. I don't want to spend. We're going to bring this out. I keep this up all the time. Any other after a couple weeks of the preseason, after any storylines that have come up, is there anything else that you're looking at outside of division games? I don't. I mean, December 3rd at home against Miami. Just because I talked about Tyreek Hill earlier, I think that's going to be an interesting thing. Also, at that point in time, it'll be interesting to see how injuries have hit us, them, other people. It'll be interesting to see if what our offense is up to with or without Sam Howell. I mean, what's going on in Week 13? I don't know. Miami's damn good. Their roster is loaded.
But going up to Gillette and Kraft Food Services and Belichick, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I look forward to that one. I think that's that's one of those games that you look up there and you're like, all right, we're going up against Bill Belichick this week. How often have we gotten to say that?
He's up there on my list too.
Yeah, I get it. And whether you love him or hate him, I respect the hell out of him.
Of course.
But if it was, never mind. I'm not going to.
A Navy man.
He is a good.
When they went for it on 4th down, up 40 points on us.
I was going to say, if there's a dark alley in Annapolis,
it hurts.
I wouldn't do anything terrible.
No,
but like
maybe a noogie.
I was thinking like a wedge.
Yeah,
I was thinking more of a frontal.
Okay. And you know what? He's the kind of guy who'd be like, I deserve that.
Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think he is. I got to be honest.
He's not
I
going
don't
to
think
take
he
it
is.
lying down. No.
Yeah, but when Robert Kraft's like, I'll take one. You're like, sir,
Please.
this is not a strip mall in Jacksonville.
Please.
We've got decency in Annapolis.
You already had your
the
quota,
state's
sir.
capital, for Christ's sake.
Now, what if he paid you, I don't know, 10 grand?
Mr. Kraft. Before you go, I would like to apologize for my friend.
Let's. How high do you want this? Exactly, sir.
Wait a minute. Double frontal, sir?
The old double frontal.
You're not wearing any underwear,
You're not
Kraft.
even
You
wearing any.
rascal. Why do we do these things?
Tricked
Why do
again
you
by
guys
Robert
tricked me into
Kraft.
that one.
The thing we should have seen it coming and going because of the he was on his way to the Super Bowl when he stopped by us, and sure enough he came right back to us.
He did.
On the flight home.
And you're a big Bijan guy. I know that's just so what Ken Harris wrote. And but the good thing about Bijan is he can play like 20 positions, but only one at a time, which is good for us when we play Atlanta.
Hey, I understand big time players are going to do big time things. Bijan's probably one of those guys who's probably just going to load up the stat sheet and be a fantasy stud, and everyone's going to love him. But at the same time, our whole thing when we're playing well, our thing is run stop. I mean our defensive line is our strength. We have cornerbacks who can tackle. We have fast linebackers, and we have two safeties that love to hit. Don't get me wrong. No disrespect to the Bijan Robinsons of the world, but that's our thing. That's what we do.
Yeah.
So I love it, and that's that's another test, and that's the way you see it. So, all right. Well, Kevin missed out on our camp talk last week. No, we don't have any draft lined up for the night necessarily like a old school. We're going to go round and round draft, but he did have some camp stuff for us. Do you want to just break out just a little bit of camp stuff? No,
I just wanted to know what your guys' stuff was, and you guys nailed it. It was
meatballs, great outdoors.
I mean, listen, meatballs was huge. Did you get into meatballs too with Meathead?
No, we did not go meatballs
so that's
too.
all. I just wanted you guys to remember, Meathead, he could walk through walls. Remember, he was the ET guy. It was the year after ET. It was Meatballs 2. Bill Murray no-showed him, and they created a lump of clay that could elevate. He could levitate people. He could walk through walls, and he could fly. He could make people. And he was a big deal. And his name, Meathead, is what he said. He was an alien, and his nickname became Meathead. And he was the star of that show. I think he got drunk. He smoked a little dope. All the American stuff in the 80s.
Yep.
That's all. As long as you guys covered the Olympiad, there's a cross-country race and a boxing match, I believe, and meatballs. Like, that's what got us. Like, that was the time of, like, what the competition of the stars, like, there was like
Network
of the Stars,
Battle of the Network Stars.
Daisy Duke was in the dunk tank. There was
Scott Baio versus Ron Howard.
What's her name from Three's Company? Janice was racing. It was like a race.
Janet
was straight. She was. It was
the nip race.
Oh, it was.
It was.
Everyone won.
Everybody won. Joyce DeWitt.
But when they did stuff like that, like, it was like, oh my God, it was information overload for us. We didn't have information overload then. We had like 3 channels.
Yeah.
And like a
4, 5, 7, 9, 20, and sometimes 50.
And you had to hit you and go to the bottom for 50.
You got to go to that bottom. Yeah, you got to go to the bottom
You
knob.
didn't mind the little lines going.
All right, how about this? How about this for a preseason quick topic? And for the board, especially the local folks, Ken Harris especially, who do you think is doing the best job talking about preseason on a daily basis? Who you going to? Who you trust in? I mean, not to spin a wheel that we've spun 8 times now in the off season since we've been doing the show, but we harken back to the Glenn Brenner, George Michael, Brandt, name your guy. There was 3 or 4.
You talking about
dudes.
all time or right now?
I'm talking about right now.
Got it.
All time, I'm probably. I mean, between Glenn and George, that's probably my top 2.
It's Glenn.
Yeah, that was the Brenners were close friends of my family, so it's just always have
Glenn.
And he was taken from us far too early.
Yeah.
But it is Glenn all day. Yeah. It is Glenn. I have it's Glenn then George for me. But
are we taking personality out of like personal personality?
Well, who do you like? Who do you want? Lou Holder, the Holder Hangout. We got a shout out from Ken Harris. Lou Holder, the Emmy award winning DC sportscaster.
I'm going to go local as well. I mean, he was born and raised locally, and he's a buddy of ours. I think he does a good job, and I really appreciate following him. And throughout all this, JP Finley's done a heck of a job.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's done a heck of a job. Yeah, I feel like he is someone that could have survived in the old school or right now, and that's what I appreciate about him.
Sure.
He's not a new school guy, so to speak. He's got some old school stuff, but he's got new school takes, and and he's old enough to know some of the stuff we talk about here on a Tuesday. I appreciate how he does it.
He also likes to party.
Yeah, man. He always has a good time.
An original. When Kevin Ewald and I started Hogs Haven, JP was just getting started. He was down in Carolina. He was just taking whatever job he could get.
Boy.
Yeah.
He did it the hard way, or I shouldn't say he did it the hard way. I'm sure he grinded, but he did it the manly way. He paid his dues. He took his lumps.
He did it our way.
And he got back to DC.
Who's from here.
So
there's no
great.
doubt, and I hate being like the guy, but like at the end of every year, I'm like, bro, like at the end of a football season, we're conditioned like great year, man. Like it's a special thing, and each year is its own little volume and this overall encyclopedia of football that we all adore. And I get on there every year. I'm like, you know what, man? Thanks for a great season. I know it couldn't have been easy to have to cover this. Stinking freight train of shit. And he's a fan too. Yeah. So I do appreciate that perspective. I think he does a good job of not being a fanboy. And he does kind of telling it straight.
He does. So. He does. He pumps his guys. But I do have a partiality, a soft spot in my heart for John Keim.
He's great.
He's been around forever.
He's awesome.
He's a pro's pro. So him and JP have known forever.
Those are my top two, man. Yeah. That's it.
John is, he was local. He worked for local. He worked locally here in DC forever. He's been at ESPN for 10 years, officially as of like a month ago.
And that ain't easy.
It's not easy. Late. No, and when he made that move, it wasn't like I was skeptical. You're never skeptical of a guy who's joining ESPN. You're like, I don't know. They might not be around in 10 years. Of course they will. And John Keim, by the way, he's the smartest guy ever, right? So he's avoided the pitfall of becoming super famous and making a ton of money at ESPN, which just gets you lopped off, like Game of Thrones style by Disney. He's just stayed in his lane. He covers our team. He's an absolute pro, and I absolutely love him. And he's been on the show before, and I'd love to have him back on. But John Keim's great.
Let's get them both on.
The JP continues to text me, and he's like, "I'm overdue for a visit to the basement," and I'm like, "JP, just freaking come over."
On, man.
He used to live a block away, and then him and his wife moved when they started having kids because they were renting a place. But he's obviously to have him down here would be great.
Yeah,
and then I know he would indulge in a little whiskey.
And cheers to those guys.
Party.
Yeah. Well, and they got something to celebrate.
Yes. Oh yeah.
They can now cover a team, a true professional franchise. Yeah. They don't have to sit there and deal with
we were at a party with him just 4 weeks ago.
I think he won the
CJ's party.
I said he won the golden
Cootie Brown.
Cootie Brown.
He won the Cootie Brown.
He won.
By the way, he's always a contender.
For the early portion, I'm guessing, because I'm going up. Who wants to go for the late night? Let's have at it. Now, last week it might not have been my best efforts, but I was still standing.
That's the key.
My brother won Cootie Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, last week?
Oh, I knew I didn't. Once I left, I knew it was over. I couldn't win it. But
Bo, that's a strong showing for Bo.
He can step it up.
I understand. I've seen him do it. I know that he can.
He had his sway going from about 8 o'clock.
Okay.
9
All right.
o'clock.
So are we gonna tell them what we were celebrating?
Let's do it.
Yeah, man. I'll go ahead and step up and say
it.
This fella right here. It was the 30th
not Benjamin
anniversary of just a terrible injury, but not what's happened for the last 30 years, and that's what we were celebrating. What's happened for the last 30 years with this dude 2 down from my right. But 30 years ago in August, down in Bethany Beach on the 5th, is when it all started for T-Bird, and we got to
it's my second birthday.
Sit in his backyard.
It's awesome.
We sat in his backyard. We played music from 1993, not even on purpose. We were just it was a Counting Crows scenario. I don't want to talk about it, but there was a lot of hip hop. There was a lot of fun. It was awesome celebrating my man 30 years after the injury, out there dominating, hanging out on a Tuesday. Cheers to 30 years, my brother.
Thank you,
Cheers
man.
to 30 years,
awesome.
Man. Yeah,
it was awesome. We had a great time.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you tell the rest.
We'll do 30 more.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course we will. You got any? I mean, like
None
speech?
that I can. No, not right now.
No. Okay. All right. Never mind. I'll take it back. I'll save that for later.
Yeah, definitely don't say what you said on the way out of the plane. It might not be understood. Ding dong.
Ding dong.
It is so true.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us on a Tuesday night in the basement. We appreciate you guys. We're going to be back. And next Tuesday night, here's what we're going to do. So we're going to have a game to talk about, some action to cover.
I thought you said we were going to have a game to play.
We're going to have a game to play. We're going to play a game. I don't know exactly the rules yet, although I'm sure they're going to favor a short, hairy Italian guy who sits between.
We could put a little tray.
By the way,
with a cup.
the alternate. I thought about this today. Is this between two helmets, but it's really between three helmets? The newest version of the show. I'm like, wait a second. Do we just create a new show between two helmets?
Sir,
I don't.
You are between 4 helmets right now, and your smile is far too wide.
there's so many helmets. I didn't even put that together.
There's helmets you can't even see.
I don't even. It's like too many. It's too many. It's a helmet-rich environment. It's a helmet-rich environment.
You can never have.
We're doing a draft. We're doing a draft. We're getting back to it. We're summering it a little bit here at the end of July, beginning of August. But what we do is we draft. That's what we do. We were born to draft.
Throw out some ideas. We'll contemplate them.
Let's talk about it. We got the board. You got a couple? You got anything?
I was asking the board.
Well, now we have to give them a second or two to respond.
That's fine. They can.
I mean, are we gonna?
We don't have to announce it tonight.
Rank Rhett's farts.
They can just keep putting on there. And
no.
No, that. Okay, fair enough.
I think
they're all number one draft picks.
One of the suggestions I've been given offline: condiments.
Done. We're drafting condiments next Tuesday night. Condiments.
Yes, not Magnums.
Not Magnums. Heinz's. French's.
Don't give away your whole. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's like sales. Know a little, show a little, right?
I have got some serious condiments for you guys.
Old condiments.
I put that shit on everything.
If you can put it on something that you can eat, it's a condiment, correct? Let's not like have a like. How about this? Do you consider relish a condiment?
Of course.
Yes, 100%.
I'm just saying.
There you go. Ooh.
Just saying.
Here we go. From Ken Harris. Cheers, bro. We appreciate you too, man. He is an inspiration for everybody. And
appreciate that.
We talk about the WCAC. The WCAC gets started in earnest. Here's where we're going to be that we know of right now. We're definitely going to be at St. John's. We're definitely going to be at McNamara for their homecoming. And I'm excited
and we got
about
all
that.
them playoffs. We got all them playoffs. Oh, the fish sandwiches.
The fish sandwich. And Ken Harris, by the way, so the cool thing, and I'll just brag a little bit on my alma mater, they tore down the old...
I saw...
The old snack shack in the corner, and they're building a pavilion there that's going to overlook the field, and they're going to make it into a spot where people are hanging out for games. But they're going to wire with TVs. So when we're there, we're going to be all the game that we're broadcasting is be on TVs up in this pavilion as people are just as alumni are hanging out and digging what's going on, and it's going to be a great day in the WCAC.
I've always said
one of the greatest spots.
They do football right over there, man.
I couldn't agree with you more. And when Ken Harris, after he saw us each eat a on-site fresh fried fish sandwich that will honestly curl your toes, and we were bragging about it, he went over and got us each another one. I'll never forget it, Ken Harris, and I appreciate it immensely. And I told everyone this story, and I was handing them out. And at the end, we had one left, and I really wanted to take it home, but Coach Mike Ward comes off to the sideline.
Oh, yes, he does.
And he was like, I'm not feeling good. Like, I'm a little light. I didn't eat today. And I was like, Typically, that would have been a 1 second. It was like
1001.
I mean, it was definitely past 5, and I was like, "There's a sandwich I forgot about for 5 seconds."
It was either a fish sandwich or a tough taco. He was getting one or the other.
It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do,
and even more so the ones that we got for the basketball tournament.
Yeah.
Brought to the basketball tournament.
I know.
That's correct.
I forgot. He packed them to go.
They were
oh my god,
so crucial for me.
Now, we are, as football fans, as people who are not just WCAC fans, as football fans, we understand McNamara has a long way to go on a high mountain to climb. But got a brand new coach, brand new staff, brand new scenario on the ground. We're calling this year one of Bishop McNamara football. A new Bishop McNamara football era. I'm excited. It's going to be an uphill climb, and they're going to have to. They got their work cut out for them as they do every year. Nobody plays a harder schedule down the stretch in this country in terms of high school football
in the country
than the Bishop McNamara Mustangs. So we will see. The rubber will meet the road. And boys will become men, and that's how it goes.
And that's the story, and that's the fact, because I was always taught, listen, man, that you get called out, just show up. Yeah. No one said you had to knock everyone on the block out. You want to show up, and you keep showing up.
Yeah.
And you keep showing up, and you win one every now and then, and you win a title every now and then, but they just keep showing up and treating us like gold. Wow. So
I think it's September 30th or October.
Yes,
I think it's September 30th. Homecoming at Bishop McNamara. I can't wait. I believe it was homecoming my junior year, our junior year, '93, when we played you guys, if I'm not mistaken. And to be honest with you, I got to believe you guys won that game.
It was '94 because I was not playing. I was on this side. It was the fall of '93.
The fall, So it was my senior year. Senior year.
Your senior year was
fall of '93. Yes, fall of '93.
Yes.
So you were not playing that game.
I did not play.
That's right. There was. I remember. Wait, then who played quarterback for you that day? Do you recall?
Justin Malloy.
It was Jut. We might have won that game. Man, I don't know. We could have.
We'll find out in about 5
minutes. We'll find out. We will absolutely find out. Sorry, Judd. I didn't mean to jump to that conclusion. But
I believe St. John's won that game.
I'm going to also run that.
Well, hold on. No. Hold on.
I want to say it was at least a game.
I know my junior year, you guys beat us at St. John's.
Okay, yeah, because
we were up. We went back and forth. We scored with like a minute and a half to go, and you guys threw. It was not my favorite. It was a great day to play football, though. But
oh gosh,
every day is, and that's why we're all sitting here watching
Saturday afternoons.
And it's coming, baby. It's coming. It's right here. It's right around the corner. I'm itching for it, just like Red is itching to spread those cheeks and pollute half of Kensington with whatever the hell that
Carolyn Whitehead ringing in with her fish sandwich love. What's up, C?
She's heard about this fish sandwich before, to be honest.
Yes, she has. Good to see you on the board this evening.
You're the best, Whitehead.
If anyone has, I'm going to just throw that back up there again because we got a little picture of the dog in a wig of some kind.
Yeah, the toupee.
But I love it when people, I know because I'm so grateful that our friends do check out the show and they're lurking in there. And not everyone is going to comment on the board. It's a very intimidating board because everybody on the board, everyone knows each other, everyone loves each other. But get involved and just jump in. People love it. There's no more of a welcoming crowd than people than people on our board. So, and
I'm telling you right now, Caroline's out there. She's like, "Give me that fillet fish. Give me that fish." And if that song wasn't in your head, it is now. It's in mine for the next month. By the way,
we're drafting condiments. Next Tuesday, we're playing a game. I'm not sure exactly what kind of game it's going to be, but a score will be kept, and a winner will be crowned. We're going to, we're gonna have a serious talk with Rhett. Maybe just have some change some life decisions before in the next 6 or 7 days.
Time to cork it up, brother. It's time to cork it up.
I mean, at some point, we just have
fish,
to,
bro.
Yeah. Is that the answer, though?
I don't know. Seems like
I'm thinking
cleaner than anything he just ate.
I don't know. Maybe just paper and cardboard. I'm thinking something like that.
Let's not piss him off these last few minutes.
I can't reach the window from here. We'll be back in 7 days. Until then, we love you guys.
Good to see you out there,
Tim
Caroline.
Strachan, Kevin Ricca. I'm Ken Marangolo. This was Thank God It's Tuesday. We'll see you in 7. We're still live. 32 days away from the season opener. Caroline Whitehead sing that song. Give me that fillet of fish. Give me that fillet of fish. Give me that fish.
Oh, I'm sweating. That was the worst fucking fart I ever heard in my life. And I didn't hear it. I didn't even hear it. And you were over there lying down.